One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hears back to a cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning. Great to see everyone in the chat, by the way. And check it out. We got a lot to discuss this morning. We've got Iran ceasefire deadline nears. I believe that is happening tonight. We also have Vance heads to Pakistan, and as well as Fed chair Showdown. We have it all for you guys. This morning, we have our chronological timeline of what we're going to be discussing from starting a little bit of yesterday into today. So big news for Apple. A lot of things actually happened over there for the company Apple. Apple CEO Tim Cook will step down. John Ternus, I think is his name. John Ternus is tapped to be the replacement. So a lot of changes happening over there for Apple. We have something that is interesting that happened yesterday. This was breaking yesterday. Lori Chavez de Remer, I think that's how you say her name. Anyways, stepping down as Labor Secretary. It says President Donald Trump's administration announced Monday that Labor Secretary Lori is leaving her cabinet post. The news comes after a series of alleged abuses, including reports of her having an affair with a subordinate and drinking alcohol on the job. What? These people drinking alcohol and booze on the job? Shit. All right, and then we have something interesting that happened yesterday as well. A woman was arrested over there at LAX, accused of trafficking arms for Iran. What? What are you guys doing over there? Regards to the Iran war, this happened around 10 o'clock last night for my time, local. Trump says, quote, it's highly unlikely he extends ceasefire. So it'd be highly unlikely that he would extend the ceasefire is what the whole thing is. It says he would extend the 2-week ceasefire with Iran if a deal is not reached. So it's definitely highly unlikely, he says. Then we have some news with Kash Patel, some shit that happened around 10 o'clock last night as well, for my time. Kash Patel sues The Atlantic over an article alleging excessive drinking. Now, that's something that can very easily get away from you. The press can definitely make it seem like there's something going on when maybe there totally is not. Maybe there is, but maybe there is not. I don't know Kash Patel's drinking patterns and all that shit, but I'm just saying that things like that can easily be spun out of proportion. So just keep that in mind as we get through these reports. And then we have 2 hours ago, Trump accuses Iran of violating ceasefire, quote, numerous times. Yes. It says right here, Trump accuses Iran of violating the ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran numerous times. This is all set to expire tomorrow, which is today. Well, actually tomorrow. So this came out today, and I guess the whole timeline is tomorrow. So this is set to expire tomorrow, and Vice President J.D. Vance is in Pakistan to lead peace talks. And then we have this morning as well, just an hour ago, U.S.-Iran signal new ceasefire talks as truce nears end. It says 2 regional officials said Tuesday, which is today, that the United States and Iran have signaled they will hold a new round of ceasefire talks in Islamabad as a fragile 2-week truce was due to expire. All right, and then the very final thing that we've got for you guys for this morning, for the craziness of the topics going on today, is Fed Chair nominee Kevin Warsh gives opening remarks. As you guys know, that there's some Fed Chair drama, as you guys know, that there are now the nominees for the Fed Chair position. So it says here, it says Fed Chair nominee, it gives a little side banner. President Trump selected Kevin Warsh as Federal Reserve Chairman. So now he's going to be asking and, have a statement. And then, of course, there's going to be questions. Then it says Warsh previously served as Fed Governor, the youngest in history. Wow, I didn't know that either. Warsh would replace Jerome Powell when term expires in May. Okay, so that's obviously what we know about that. All right, real quick before we get into the craziness, let's go ahead and do our call to actions. Then we'll get right into the craziness. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. And it's free to do so. Also hit that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday. And then, of course, Saturday morning for members only. Now, speaking of members, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $3.99 a month. Making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody. But check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, as well as the campaign trail, man. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one, and we also have a Discord server for all of you legends where we all continue the conversation after the show. Make sure you guys go in the video description down below of any live video that we're doing, and there will be an invite link for you guys. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen at any time that you guys can donate to those. I get 100% of the proceeds, as well as I'll read out loud whatever comes our way, just like a super chat. So I've got our email up, so we're always going to be scanning. Very much appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us this morning, man. All right, great to see you all. We got Steve Easy in the chat. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well as Prez. Good morning to you guys. We got Gary as well as Mr. Al Patterson and Cameron. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this morning, and happy Topless Taco Tuesday to all. Mr. Steve Posey as well as Sick Bastard, and thank you for the raid this morning, by the way. I very much appreciate Motobomb Virginia, the Coffee Crew, Sick Bastard, all of you guys over there, man. You guys are amazing. Shows a lot of love and support. And yes, absolutely, Naomi. Great to see you in the chat as well. We got TVT in the building as well as Jimmy Mac. Yes, sir. And let's see, we got Paul in here. We got Adrian. We're running our way down as fast as humanly possible. We got Mr. Dylan Patterson as well as Miss Lotus. Good morning to you guys. Yes, loud noises, by the way. Loud noises. We got Mr. Pablo as well. Steve Easy says, join the IWF and get all the perks, my little... yeah, well, absolutely. That's facts, by the way. Running our way down, we got Papa Penguin as well. Good morning to you, kind sir. All right, guys, we're going to get right into the craziness. We got a lot to get through this morning. We're going to start with Apple and how Tim Cook, the CEO, is now stepping down.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. We come back with some breaking news
Good morning.
in the business world, as this was a major announcement just after the closing bell today. Apple CEO Tim Cook stepping down. Cook has served as CEO since taking over for Steve Jobs back in 2011, and will be replaced by John Ternus. Ternus, who is a senior vice president of hardware engineering, will become Apple's CEO effective on September 1st of this year. It has been the greatest privilege of my life to be the CEO of Apple and to have been trusted to lead such an extraordinary company, Cook said. He also said, I love Apple with all of my being, and I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with a team of such innovative, creative, and deeply caring people who have been unwavering in their dedication to enriching the lives of our customers and creating the best products and services in the world.
Well, I'll say with Tim Cook, as soon as he took over the ship in 2011 from Steve Jobs, he kept the company afloat, and he kept it not only kept it afloat, but kept it profitable and kept pushing out the products. So he definitely kept that company afloat for damn sure.
John Turnus has the mind of an engineer, the soul of an innovator, and the heart to lead with integrity and with honor. He is a visionary whose contributions to Apple over 25 years are already too numerous to count, and he is without question the right person to lead Apple into the future. I could not be more confident in his abilities and his character, and I look forward to working closely with him on this transition in my new role as executive chairman there. So
now, you know what's funny is I was expecting when this news came out last night, I saw all this news. Well, not last night, like yesterday, early evening. So I was watching the stock market as soon as this whole thing was being announced. And I own some Apple stock. So I was expecting to watch it go down a little bit. But that didn't happen. It actually went up. So I was like, oh, well, I guess we're not going to see that much change. Now, I'm sure there probably is. I'm sure the days following are going to be changing. But at least right there in that moment, I was like, oh, wow, it's responding a little differently than normal. Anyways, let's go ahead and pop up this next story here. Regards to Lori DeMar, or DeRemer, I think, I can't pronounce her name. Anyways, stepping down as labor secretary. This came out yesterday evening. Let's go ahead and discuss this really quick. Has to do with drinking on the job and having an affair with a subordinate. Wow.
Top headlines from Washington, D.C., including another shakeup within Trump administration and the cabinet, and that being the labor secretary resigning. Lori Chavez DeRemer is out, and we're learning this information here on Live Now from Fox and parts of the press for the White House saying this. Stephen Chung saying Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer will be leaving the administration to take a position in the private sector. She has done a phenomenal job in her role by protecting American workers, enacting fair labor practices, and helping Americans gain additional skills to improve their lives.
Coming from Stephen Chung.
Keith Sonderling will take the role as acting Secretary of Labor. So some major developments. The third such cabinet member to depart the administration in as little as a month. The others being DHS Secretary Kristi Noem and Attorney General Pam Bondi. So the Labor Secretary, Lori Chavez DeRemer, is out of President Trump's cabinet, the White House said Monday, after multiple allegations of abusing her position's power, including having an affair with
Yeah, exactly, Blair. Sounds like a great working environment.
subordinate and drinking alcohol on the job. This is the third such cabinet member to leave her post after Trump fired Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in March and ousted Attorney General Pam Bondi earlier this month. So unlike...
Yeah, but in all fairness, even though he fired them from those exact positions, they're just being moved to different positions.
Like the other recent cabinet departures, the exit was announced by the White House, not necessarily the
Liquored up with Poncho, my man. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, bro.
president himself on social media. We are hearing, though, from Lori Chavez DeRemer on social media saying it has been an honor and a privilege to serve in this historic administration, work for the greatest president of my lifetime. At the Department of Labor, I am proud that we have made significant progress in advancing President Trump's mission to bridge the gap between business and labor and always put the American worker first. We created new pathways to mortgage-paying jobs, prepared workers to excel in the age of AI, took steps to lower prescription drug costs and promote entertainment, retirement security, and...
I love the amount of cope that there is there. Like, don't pay attention to my bullshit. Pay attention to the good things I did. Meanwhile, everyone forgot about that shit the day that it happened.
Much more. And another obviously post from Chavez DeRemer saying, thinking back to my first job packing peaches in rural California, it taught me the value.
A great gummer. Hell yeah, Glare. And we got Motobomb Virginia. Yes, sir. And hey, you don't have to worry about that, Motobomb. I always appreciate you. any support that we get over here is a blessing.
Of hard work, a value that I have carried with me every single day in this job and throughout my time in public service. We live the best country in the world, and I am grateful that they had this opportunity to meet workers across the nation, listen to their stories, deliver wins for them and their families. Thank you, President Trump. While my time serving the administration comes to a conclusion.
What's up, Tiffany? Good morning to you, and happy Topless Taco Tuesday to you.
It doesn't mean I will stop fighting for American workers. I'm looking forward to what the future has in store as I depart for the private sector. And the now acting Labor Secretary, Keith Sonderling, saying thank you, Secretary Chavez-DeRemer, for your leadership under your reign. The Department of Labor.
Steve Easy, no kidding, by the way. I think it was, what was the number exactly? Do you remember? Was it 118 million? 118, I think it was, 120 million. Is the tariffs that he has to start paying back yesterday or whatever. But yes, I did see that. I don't think I saw that I don't know where I saw that. I saw it on social media. I know that's, actually, believe it or not, that's where I get a lot of my breaking news updates is on social media. And then, of course, you guys know what I do. I go back and I will get that information, and then I'll check the reports with all mainstream media. With all media, all mainstream media, all the media, right? So that's how we confirm our shit. So anyways, so we're going to get into this odd story here. Woman arrested at LAX yesterday, by the way, accused of trafficking arms for Iran. Whoa. Whoa, what are you doing, lady? Were you bringing some AKs and RPGs over there to the homies? What are you doing?
Federal authorities carried out a major arrest over the weekend at Los Angeles International Airport as officials say Shahim Mafi, an Iranian national.
Shahim Mafi, whatever. Oh, God, dude.
Became a lawful resident back in 2016. They arrested her for trafficking arms on behalf of the government of Iran. This is a post from Fox News saying an Iranian woman living a life of luxury in California in court today facing charges.
130 billion. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, I believe that this has to do with the Supreme Court ruling on the whole tariff thing. And I don't know where you're paying it necessarily back to. I really don't know the ordeal on that, to be quite real. We got Seymour Cannabis in the chat, by the way. Good morning to you. Great to see you in here, by the way.
Is that she's been selling drones, bombs, and ammunition for the Iranian government, raking in millions of dollars. The Department of Justice also posting on social media exactly about this, as they say Shamim Mafi of Woodland Hills arrested.
Damn, $26 in tariffs for a $50 book. Yo.
At LAX for trafficking arms on behalf of the government of Iran. She charged with brokering the sale of drones, bombs, bomb fuses, and millions of rounds of ammunition manufactured by Iran and sold to Sudan. For more on this, let's go out to our Fox 11 counterparts, Rachel Aragon, with this report.
Yeah, Blair, to be honest, I really don't know if that whole payment thing where they're like repaying tariffs, I just saw that as as one of those mainstream titles or whatever the case is. So nonetheless, it's a headline, but I don't know it to be 100% factual yet. We haven't even covered it. So, but I did see it on social media, and I did see that. So I don't know it to be facts. I'm just saying.
A major arrest at LAX Saturday night. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Abila Saleh posting on X saying that this woman, 44-year-old Shamim Mafi of Woodland Hills, was charged for allegedly brokering the sale of drones, bombs, bomb fuses, and millions of rounds of ammunition manufactured by Iran and sold to Sudan.
The companies.
Officials say Mafi is an Iranian national who became a lawful permanent resident of the United States in 2016. According to
So this Iranian born person moved here in what, 2016, it says?
Say Mafi is an Iranian national who became a lawful permanent resident of the United States in 2016.
I wonder why.
According to the criminal complaint, she maintains a residence in Woodland Hills and travels.
Maintains a residence in Woodland Hills, California, and travels frequently to Iran, Turkey, Oman, and other countries. Yo.
Frequently to Iran, Turkey, and other countries.
And it's got to be stopped.
As the war in Iran continues, some in the valley are applauding federal agents' action Saturday night at LAX.
It's magnificent that they're cracking down, and they have to stick to it. You know, you start a game, you finish it.
According to the complaint, law enforcement had lured Mafi, who is accused of trafficking arms for the Iranian government, was scheduled to travel from LAX to Turkey.
Yeah, how is she able to fly around no problem, up to this point, even if she was labeled already, right? She's labeled as some sort of like weapons trafficker or whatever, well, then why are you allowing her to get on fucking airplanes? I just don't understand. I know a lot of people that cannot fly on a plane. Even well, I think some can nationally and some prefer not to do it at all. But nonetheless, they don't fly at all because of this shit. Like, fuck that.
Saturday night.
All right, a live look at LAX here on this Monday.
What's up, Dean? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning to you.
If convicted, she faces a statutory maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. Again, she's arrested there over the weekend. Bill Asaley, the first assistant to the U.S. Attorney for the Central District, says that she was arrested at LAX for trafficking arms on behalf of the federal government. So we're following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox, especially in light of what's going on in Iran.
Yeah, this is a little wild. All right, we're going to move on. All right, here we go. We've got Iran war. Trump says it's, quote, highly unlikely he will extend the ceasefire because the ceasefire 2 weeks runs up theoretically tomorrow. So this is the deadline. So Trump was basically asked, I assume, only because it was Trump saying it right here. He's unlikely to extend the ceasefire. So also, you know what we haven't done? We haven't done the fucking money part yet. Yo, we are messing up today.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that is actual factuals, by the way. Yes. All right. Back to this.
A looming deadline for the ceasefire over the next 24 hours as Vice President J.D. Vance sent to lead a delegation alongside Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner as we talk about the choke point in these.
That's what I'm saying, Pablo. People get thrown on a no-fly list for like way less. Meanwhile, she's like known gun trafficker to Iran. Yet they're like, yeah, come on the plane. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Strait of Hormuz, the blockade still very much in effect. Tensions on the rise. Let's take you out right now to Greg Paulcott on where we stand.
Paulcott.
With some 48 hours remaining in the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran.
It's going, Steve Posey. So far, what I've done is I've gotten 2 doctors basically that are willing to go all the way to trial with me. Not just, hey, I'm willing to write you a letter to your, case, but we're willing to actually go and fight for you in court. Now that in a disability case, that means way more than it does a lawyer. Now I'm going to have a lawyer too, but I'm just saying that having especially 2 doctors that are willing to fight for me is basically the very thing that's going to allow us to win this, essentially. So let me go on to the other side and see what was sent. Cameron sending over a high five for 100 joules. I very much appreciate that, by the way, sending it out this morning. Thank you, Naomi, because I would have not seen that without your comment. So I very much appreciate you looking out for that.
President Trump told Bloomberg News he's, quote, highly unlikely to renew it. Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to head to Pakistan Tuesday to lead another round of negotiations. Whether the Iranians show up remains to be seen.
It's hard to tell with Iran. They lie, they obfuscate, they delay, and they're looking to delay the next round of this war.
This is when they were shooting.
Tense in the Strait of.
So right here, I don't know if they're going to show it, but right here is when the United States send off a few rounds to let the ship know, hey, we're serious. Not enough to like blow them up or anything, but enough to like let them know, hey, we're shooting at you. Happens on this video, actually. Hopefully they show it.
Hormuz, where an Iranian flag cargo tanker tried to evade the U.S. blockade Sunday.
But that's us boarding.
The U.S. to attack and seize the vessel.
I don't think they expected that, and it's been a very bold move on the part of the president here to really gain some leverage.
Even if a deal is reached, the issue of clearing the strait of Iran's mines remains a daunting task.
They have 2 classifications of mines. One we call a moored contact mine that sits slightly below the surface, and then the bottom influence mines. But the U.S. Navy is up to the task.
Tuesday, Senate Democrats will force a 5th vote on a war powers resolution.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Steve Easy. The part that does it for me, essentially, is it just decredits his words more and more. anytime he really kind of does talk about Iran, because truthfully, a lot of things that he talks about either doesn't come true or isn't true or whatever the case is. So a lot of those kind of things over the course of time, it diminishes the value of your word, right? So also make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. You guys don't have to like all this craziness, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. So thank you for that.
Resolution that would effectively end the U.S. military operation unless Congress signs off on it.
We will continue to force votes on our resolution every single week that Trump's war continues.
President Trump tells PBS that if the clock runs out on the ceasefire, then, quote, lots of bombs start going off. In Tel Aviv.
And that's exactly what we were talking about when the ceasefire originally happened. It's like, okay, well, this is going to be a 2-week ceasefire just to be able to recollect their shit. You recollect your stuff. We recollect on our end. We'll make sure that our supplies are back up. You make sure that yours are. We'll meet back up here in 2 weeks, And then, yes, the bombs will start flying again. And that's exactly what we said 2 weeks ago.
Fox News.
I hate that
once
guy.
Again, President Trump.
I hate that guy. Fox News. Lame ass.
Why are you gay?
Threatening that power plant day, the bridge day, if this ceasefire is not reached in a permanent sense, as the president telling Bloomberg earlier on today that it is highly unlikely that he extends this ceasefire with Iran. And this is the post on social media.
What's up, Stephanie? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
As they spoke directly with the president, said it's unlikely he would extend the 2-week ceasefire with Iran if a deal is not reached before it ends, and said the Strait of Hormuz would remain blocked until an agreement is finalized. Let's discuss more here on Live Now from Fox. We're going to be joined right now by Ben Freeman, Policy Director at Defense Priorities. Ben, I appreciate your time. We know potentially there could be negotiations again in Pakistan led by the Vice President J.D. Vance, although it's unlikely that they extend this. Are we once again up against the brink of more escalation in the region?
Well, we already know the answer to that, and that is absolutely yes. We don't need to even hear what this guy has to say. Quite honestly, we already know the answers to all of that. Let's see if we have any other posts here from any governmental official. It doesn't look like it. We do have some new images, though. Let me see this. I haven't seen these images yet.
So, I think there is some fracturing there. On the other hand, some of the Gulf states, like Saudi Arabia, have been very enthusiastic about continuing the war. And probably one reason for that is that they can continue, even though their oil is choked up to a degree in the Gulf, they can continue to export it some other ways, and they're getting much higher prices for it. So it's not clear that it's all suffering for the Gulf oil producers.
All right. Real quick, we got Mr. Jack Talcott in the building. Shout out to you, by the way. Hopefully you are enjoying your morning so far. I definitely know that we are. All right, so let's go ahead and move on into the next story here. We're going to be talking a little bit about Kash Patel. It says Kash Patel sues The Atlantic over article alleging excessive drinking. Now, when it comes down to stuff like this, I'm going to be honest. The media is very good at being able to portray a certain thing when maybe it necessarily isn't. I don't know Kash Patel's drinking habits or any of that. I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just merely saying you guys need to realize that the media does play these games, and they will try to paint you out to be the worst of the worst if they have a target for you. So he may actually have an issue. I don't know what's going on here, but this is an easy one because it's a little harder to prove. But anyways, here we go.
And here too, live now from Fox, I am Andy Mack. FBI Director Kash Patel is suing The Atlantic after an explosive report over the weekend, saying this was a hit piece, as the New York Post posting this on social media, suing The Atlantic reporter for $250 million over a story alleging excess
$250 million
drinking and mysterious absences, as in the complaint filed.
A lot of money,
in the Federal District Court in D.C. on Monday. Patel said he's seeking $250 million in
Well, if you win that, let me hold $1 million.
Damages, plus any proceeds from the article. As this says, the magazine ran a, quote, sweeping, malicious, and defamatory hit piece against him on Friday with the intention of marring his reputation. The Atlantic responding to this lawsuit saying, quote, We stand by our reporting on Kash Patel, and we vigorously defend the Atlantic and our journalists against this meritless lawsuit.
Meritless. Yeah, that's wow. So the Atlantic is doubling down. They're saying, no, we stand by our shit.
More on the background of this original Atlantic article as it contained extensive reporting attributed to anonymous people alleging Patel engaged in excessive drinking and unexplained absences while leading the FBI. The FBI has declined to comment on the lawsuit. The complaint alleges that several incidents detailed in the article.
Manuel, yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great fucking... That sounds like a great plan.
Are defamatory. These incidents include that Patel was often intoxicated with White House and Trump administration staff, that meetings had to be rescheduled following nights on which he drank, and that staff once requested breaching equipment when Patel had reportedly been unreachable and his security detail was unable to access his room. For more on this, let's go out to Annie in Heliopolis with this report.
FBI Director Kash Patel sues The Atlantic after the outlet published a report alleging he has a drinking problem and is often absent.
Shit. Get your drinking under control, cuh.
From work or, quote, away or unreachable. The Atlantic cited more than 24 anonymous sources in its report and called his alleged behavior a potential threat to national security.
We are not going to take this laying down. You want to attack my character? Come at me. Bring it on. I'll see you in court.
He said, come at me, bro.
The White House, the Department of Justice, and Patel denied the allegations. On Sunday Morning Futures, Patel called the article fake and baseless.
So if I'm not doing my job, if I'm not working, then how is it that the FBI delivered the safest America under President Trump's leadership in the history of our country?
And now Democratic lawmakers on the Hill are calling for Patel to resign.
Patel must resign immediately. Every day he remains in office subjects America to serious and unnecessary risks.
Kash Patel is deeply unqualified, deeply unserious, and his behavior is deeply un-American. And he
Listen, we love Timu Obama over here, okay?
should no longer be the FBI director.
Patel's lawyers accused The Atlantic of defamation and acting with malice. A spokesperson for the magazine said it stands behind its reporting. The lawsuit seeks $250 million in damages. Anna Eliopoulos.
Man, that's a lot of money, man. I wish I could command, someone said some shit like, oh, Mike's a drunk. Oh, now I'm going to sue you for $250 million. No problem. All right, we're moving on. Listen, I think Kash Patel needs to embrace his fuck ups.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Embrace thy process. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? We've embraced the process. All right, to this. Trump accuses Iran of violating ceasefire numerous times.
Taking us out to a live image of Islamabad, Pakistan.
This is just as of like 2-3 hours ago.
We are waiting for these potential talks between U.S. and Iranian officials that are supposed to be getting underway in just a few hours. They come ahead of the ceasefire that is set to expire on Wednesday between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump did post to social media about 30 minutes or so ago. Taking a look here at the screen. This is what he had to say via his Truth Social account. Quote, Iran has violated the ceasefire numerous times. As I just mentioned, Pakistan...
What's up, GEG? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Shout out to you over there on the West Coast.
...is preparing for that new round of talks between the U.S. and Iran, even as President Trump appeared to throw cold water on hopes for reaching an agreement to end the war. The president telling Bloomberg News on Monday that he's, quote, highly unlikely to renew the ceasefire, which is set to expire on Wednesday. Also, just in a few moments ago from the Associated Press, they say that regional officials are saying that the U.S. and Iran have signaled that they will attend a new round of talks. However, neither the U.S. nor Iran have publicly confirmed the timing of the talks. Iranian state television has denied any official is already in Pakistan's capital. Pakistan-led mediators received confirmation that the top negotiators U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and also Iran's parliament speaker will arrive in Islamabad early Wednesday. The officials said that to the Associated Press. The officials also spoke on...
So that's going to be tomorrow for us, by the way. It'll be Wednesday for them in Islamabad, on Tuesday in the afternoon for us.
...condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to brief reporters on the matter. And again, a 2-week ceasefire is due to expire in just a few hours. At the same time, Germany is calling on Iran to head to Pakistan for those talks. The German foreign minister says that, quote, "We are now urgently calling on Iran to come to Islamabad and engage in constructive negotiations with the United States." That foreign minister was speaking on the sidelines of a European Union foreign ministers meeting in Luxembourg earlier today, and he pointed out that U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is ready to travel to Pakistan and that, quote, "Iran should now take this outstretched hand in the interest of its own people." Also, the conflict in the Middle East has triggered the most severe energy crisis in a generation. That's according to the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. He said, quote, "Fossil fuels are now just wrecking our planet."
What's up, Carrie? Great to see you in the chat, by the way, over there from Rob's neighbor. Always appreciate you, by the way. We got Stephanie coming in with the 13 months and saying, "This is my place." I very much appreciate that, Stephanie. Definitely goes a long way. Thank you for the 13 months of epic support, man. That's just beautiful. Thank you for that.
And they are holding economies hostage. And he said that remotely from New York to a climate conference that was being held in Berlin. The UN climate chief has also warned of fuel price chaos, which brings me out to that radar system that we have of the Strait of Hormuz. We're also following how this war has had a great impact on the global economy and the movement of a lot of this oil and the vessels there at this very critical choke point in the Middle East. The Iran war has locked...
Yeah, no kidding, Sterling. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday to you as well. And by the way, everybody that's coming in, make sure you guys hit that like button. Double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. You guys don't have to love or like anything that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here. So thank you.
The world in much higher fossil fuel costs for months and likely years to come, according to the UN climate chief. He referred to climate change and fuel price chaos as twin reapers and said that climate cooperation and faster investments in clean energy were needed to overcome this challenge. Those are just some of the latest updates that we have there coming out of the Middle East, and the latest post from President Trump, which I had here on your screen just moments ago, just brought it back.
Which we already showed. Let's go ahead and see if we have any other post. We do not. We're going to move on. So we've got two different things going on here that we've got to discuss. So we've got U.S.-Iran signal new ceasefire talks as truce nears end. Now, this just came out about 2 hours ago. Two regional office officials said Tuesday, which is today, that the United States and Iran have signaled they will hold a new round of ceasefire talks in Islamabad as a fragile 2-week truce was due to expire. All right, so let's go and bring that up. We'll quickly discuss it. We got Sterling Wheel coming out and gifting out 5 gifted memberships. Let's go, bro. Thank you very much there, kind sir. Sending it out, it definitely goes a long way. And if you guys got a gifted membership, make sure you guys thank whoever gifted them, man. It definitely, listen, we got to have people like Sterling there helping the family out. So we very much appreciate it. Make sure you guys thank out the people that are gifting out memberships, man. We got Blair coming out with the 18 months, by the way, the best number in the world, saying, make spoils of war great again. Wait, is that, yeah? Is that what you're meant to say? But shit, well. Spoils of war. Make spoils of war great again. Absolutely. Thank you for the 18 months. Definitely goes a long way. And Steve Easy says, stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to bring this up. We're going to quickly discuss this whole thing before we get into the Fed chair.
We continue to follow the latest out of the Middle East this morning, and I wanted to share this on your screen here from the Associated Press.
There's a lot to talk about. Let's start with this. Pakistan is preparing for a new round of talks between the U.S. and Iran, even as President Trump appeared to throw cold water on hopes for reaching an agreement to end the war. President Trump said on Monday that he's highly unlikely to renew the ceasefire, which is set to expire tomorrow. Iran's chief negotiator and parliament speaker wrote in a post on X early Tuesday that, quote, "We do not accept negotiations under the shadow of threats." And the Islamic Republic has been preparing to reveal new cards on the battlefield. Now, this coming as you see this post here on your screen, that Iranian state television issued an on-screen alert saying that, quote, "No delegation from Iran has visited Islamabad so far," as speculation about possible talks with the U.S. grows.
Oh, that's interesting. So the Iranian state television is issuing an on-screen alert saying no delegation from Iran has visited Islamabad, ... so far. So
the on-screen alert likely reflects the internal debate ongoing within Iran's theocracy as it weighs how to respond to the U.S. Navy's seizure of an Iranian container ship over this past weekend. Iranian state TV has been controlled by hardliners with Iran's theocracy, and so far no official has acknowledged that a delegation will be heading to Islamabad, where officials have been on standby for days now for the possible talks.
What's up, Warliner? Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
But
Good
we do
morning.
know Vice President J.D. Vance expected to lead the American team on these talks. Iran has offered no word on who could lead its delegation. So what is going on with these talks? A lot to talk about here. So let's bring in Alex Trayman with the Jewish News Syndicate, a friend of the show. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now for Vox this morning. We
This won't be biased at all.
appreciate it.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Christy.
So let's start with this. So neither the U.S. nor Iran have publicly confirmed the timing of these talks, but we saw Iranian state television had denied any official is already in Pakistan's capital. But we know Vice President J.D. Vance is on the way. So what is going on with these talks? Where do they stand? Are they happening or not?
Well, I think it's strongly likely that they will take place. It would be a very bad signal for Iran if they chose not to participate. Even so, the first round of negotiations that took place just over a week ago didn't lead to any sort of agreeable outcome for the United States. And it's not clear whether, even if the Iranians show up, if they will be willing to give in on the American red lines. And yes, that is happening, under the severe threat of another military operation by the United States and Israel.
I also wanted to share
Well, Iran is playing hardball over there. They're saying, well, we ain't a part of none of that shit.
this because President Trump put this out on Truth Social just a short time ago, as he says Iran has violated the ceasefire numerous times. And before I brought you in here, Alex, I also shared that President Trump signaled he's highly unlikely to renew this ceasefire, which is set to expire here very shortly. How seriously should we take the risk of this conflict escalating again within days? And what could President
Oh, that shit is lame. For real, Claire? Man, see YouTube, you guys are blocking payment and shit to your creators? That's fucked up.
Trump be talking about here?
Well, we've seen already 2 times in the past that President Trump was willing to enter into negotiations with Iran. That happened in April of the previous year. He entered into a negotiation. He said that there was a 60-day timetable on those negotiations. And on 60 days number 61, Israel launched its 12-day war, which culminated with the United States Operation Midnight Hammer and the bombing of the Fordo nuclear reactor. Just before this conflict began, about 8 weeks ago, President Trump again gave Iran the opportunity to enter into negotiations. He said at the time there was about 10 days for them to negotiate an outcome to the situation. They did not give in, and the United States launched Operation Epic Fury. So twice the president entered into negotiations. Twice it ended up in a U.S. and Israeli-led military operation, and it could very well be that the third time is the charm here, and you might see Israel and the United States launch another military campaign.
Right. I was just about to say, if he was going to get to the point where he said where we're going to see a ceasefire, like a complete one, I was going to say, no, we're going to see exchange of bombs and missiles and shit. That's what we are going to see. What are they showing here? Let me go ahead and see what they're showing here.
Operation against Iran.
Also going off of that, I also wanted to ask you about this. We're hearing about that security cordon around Mojtaba Habineh. What
Yo, real quick, Sterling Wheel is testing out to make sure that the super chats are still working, and indeed, he got one through saying 420 for the Spleefer chat. Yes, I very much appreciate it. We'll get down with our Spleefer, you know what I mean? I caught the drift, you know what I mean? Thank you for
Does
that.
that signal maybe about internal fears or instability within Iran's leadership?
Well, there should be internal fears. Israel has been willing to take out anybody that they think is an enemy. Certainly Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader who was assassinated in the first moments of the war. Israel thought that they had also assassinated Mojtaba. It appears as though he has survived the attack, although, to be honest, nobody really knows what condition he's in. There were reports that he was in a coma. There are some reports that he may have lost a leg in the strike,
yeah.
so nobody knows whether he's conscious.
Right. We've actually, well, we know he's conscious, well, theoretically, because he's sent out messages, but not him himself, where we can actually see him, which is correct. He may have actually lost a leg. That's what a lot of the reports have been. So anyways, let's get into this Fed chair drama real quick. We'll get into this Fed chair stuff, and we'll keep this pushing. Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, Fed Chair nominee Kevin Warsh gives opening remarks.
I appreciate your consideration today. I've known you for quite a while, and I certainly appreciate the many courtesies you've given me, not just since the president's nomination, but long before. It's an honor to be with you, with Ranking Member Warren, and with the entire committee. I'm deeply grateful to President Trump for asking me to take on this public trust, because that's what it is, a public trust. The president believes that real economic growth in the U.S. and real take-home pay will accelerate. I share the president's confidence in our country and its people. America's economic growth potential is rising as we sit here today. I'm also especially happy that my wife Jane is here. She's been with me for many of the most important moments in my life. I'm grateful for her love and her personal accomplishments. I reciprocate that with somewhat of my own love, though I'm a little more stoic than she. And about every 20 years, I reintroduce her to this committee. She sat behind me 20.
Well, as you know, Blair, this being an appointed position, that's exactly what Trump wants, is a kiss ass in that position.
Years ago, and it was almost 20 years ago to the day. And so let me offer today what I said then. Jane, happy anniversary. I'm also thinking of my late mom and dad. They were paying great attention to this hearing 20 years ago. They're no longer with us, but I was always proud of them and the values they taught me, and I hope they'd be proud of me today. We start today with a note of broad agreement, even though we might have heard different narratives at the outset of this hearing. This is a time of great consequence for the nation's economy. As a former Fed governor and friend or colleague of the last 5 Fed chiefs, from whom I've learned plenty of lessons, I'm particularly alert to the challenges and opportunities confronting the institution that I cherish, the Federal Reserve. To the President, to the Congress, the nation, I owe my best judgment and my most faithful efforts.
That is no doubt, Papa Penguin, no fucking doubt.
Serving the mission that you and Congress assigned to the Federal Reserve, including full employment and stable prices. The American people are counting on the Fed to deliver on its commitments, perhaps now more than ever. The real highlights of my life are not on my resume, as Senator McCormick said. They include the individuals with whom I worked and from whom I learned. I graduated from high school in upstate New York. I had some exceptional teachers there and some brilliant classmates. I've learned we're lucky in life if we start out with good influences in learning and in character. A public school education gave me both of these, and I'm grateful. I made my way to Stanford and found myself in the company of some of the most highly accomplished economists and policymakers. George Shultz, former Secretary of State and Treasury, was among the great patriots at the Hoover Institution, who I came to know as a teacher, mentor, and friend. He passed away right after COVID at age 100, but I still feel him with me. I could not have imagined a better formative experience than working from and learning from folks like him. I could tell you about all the things I learned, but maybe the most important was to be around people completely devoted to the ideas and ideals of our country. Silicon Valley in the early 90s, another fitting backdrop for all the things we confront today. I found myself in the right place at the right time. The U.S. was at the vanguard of a new era of technological leadership, and I just looked out my door to see it. Now, in the last 15 years, I've gained deep experience in macro and in markets, working with Stan Druckenmiller. He never held a position in government, but is no less a patriot. He never got a PhD in economics, but I don't know a finer economic thinker. Without their guidance and the guidance of Condi Rice, my friend and I should say my boss at the Hoover Institution, I doubt I would be sitting before you today as the president's Fed chairman nominee. But I'm certain of one thing. Absent their tutelage, absent their example, I would not be as prepared for the urgent, mission-critical task at hand. In between these bookend experiences, I served quite a while ago as a governor at the Federal Reserve. At the onset of the financial crisis, as Senator Warren said, our central bank played an indispensable role, and we benefited enormously from the credibility that our predecessors had built up and passed down to us, governors of the Fed at the time. In these unusual and exigent circumstances, I saw the Fed and its people at their very best. But I also witnessed an institution that was tempted to play a larger role in the economy and society. So let me be very clear. Monetary policy independence is essential. Monetary policy makers must act in the nation's interest. Their decisions the product of rigor, deliberation, and unclouded decision-making. And as Senator Warren said, I do not believe that independence of monetary policy is threatened when elected officials state their views on rates. Fed independence is up to the Fed. That has three implications. First, Congress is tasked with the mission to ensure price stability.
What's up, brother So Loud? Shout out to you, by the way. Good morning and happy Topless Taco Tuesday.
Inflation is the Fed's choice.
What's up, Hardwire?
Second,
Same to you, brother.
Fed independence is at its peak in the conduct of monetary policy. And third, as the chairman said, the Fed must stay in its lane. I'm committed to ensuring that the conduct of monetary policy remains strictly independent. Equally committed to work with the administration and Congress on non-monetary matters that are part of the Fed's remit, and I commit myself to accountability. Finally, I'll just say this, Mr. Chairman. Milton Friedman had a phrase that always stayed with me.
You be safe out there, Brother Blair. We always appreciate you. And yeah, and everyone's sitting there going, yes, we know you're not going to cater necessarily to these things, but you're just going to cater to Trump and whatever Trump wants, right? You know, so.
He always worried about government officials that lured and hung around with what he called the tyranny of the status quo. Status quo practices and policies are especially harmful when the world is changing this fast. If confirmed as chairman, I will be faithful to the Constitution, to the Federal Reserve Act, and to the very best of the Fed's traditions. I believe a reform-oriented Fed can make a real difference to the American people.
That's true. That's very true there, Kevin. And we got Yo Mama up in the building. Shout out to you. Good morning.
And if confirmed, I will seek to create an environment in which the best people do their best work. Candor and goodwill will go a long way in pursuing those objectives. And I suspect this hearing, Mr. Chairman, will put us to the test. It's a real privilege to be here.
Thanks, sir.
All right. So that was the official opening for today. So that's going to be going on pretty much all day. We're going to actually send you guys over to a guy named International Stacker. I guess he is reviewing the whole thing right now live with this whole thing. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Make sure you let him know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. But listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. Obviously, I cannot do this shit without you. I'm very honored to be able to do it. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Also, hit the like button and double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. Always appreciate you guys. We'll be back here tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.